BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports, including Union University, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
Live from Overton Stadium in Jackson, Tennessee, the BallGame Blitz Sports Network, powered by Worthy Road Studios, proudly presents Bruin Baseball as the USJ Bruins are challenged by the Fayette Academy Vikings. And this is the start of the Division II West Region Baseball Tournament. The winner of tonight's game will play Wednesday at North Point Christian. And already this evening, about 30 minutes ago, this Fayette Academy team just ran roughshod over Sacred Heart of Jesus, 27-4. And I talked to their coach, and he said that in his entire coaching career, he had never had a game in which his team scored 18 runs in one inning, and that indeed happened in the third inning. And it was just one of those where they continued on. The umpires chose not to call the game because they don't call the mercy rule until you get to the fifth inning. But it was just one of those where the runs and the hits and the walks kept bunching together. I have never seen an 18-run inning in any level of high school baseball until this one this afternoon. So they have had their offense for today, and now it's going to be up to Chase Gardner on the mound for USJ to try to cool off that offense here in this second game tonight. And leading off for Fayette Academy, the second baseman, Carson Klein. The shortstop, Jacob Walker, is hitting second. Colton Carson, the catcher, is in the 3 spot. At cleanup is the pitcher, Luke Jenkins. Hayden Fly, the designated hitter, is batting 5th. Batting 6th, Matthew Kosser, the first baseman. Jake Grant, the center fielder, is hitting 7th. In the 8th spot is Mason Bregorsa. I'm going to change that again. Mason Bregorgas, that's it. And Eason Wells, the left fielder, is in the 9 spot. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with the start of tonight's game.
Tired of going to the dealerships only to see empty spaces? Then come to Carlock Nissan of Jackson. We have over 60 new vehicles in stock and more coming in daily. You can see, feel, and of course smell that new car smell. Save up to $8,600 off MSRP on a new Nissan. Plus, special APR financing as low as 1.9%. It's all at Carlock Nissan of Jackson. You should already be here.
Mention BallGame Blitz Sports Network and receive a free gift.
Carlock Prestige is not your typical used car dealer. We have everything from a Porsche to this, and lots more. We inspect and repair all our vehicles. Ask us to prove it. We will.
Carlock Prestige, Van Drive, Jackson.
At Arrington Funeral Directors, we accept all prearranged funerals. So you may have prearranged your funeral in this town with another funeral home or even in another state, but we accept all prearranged funerals because we're here to serve families.
Ready for spring cleaning? Don't forget your HVAC system. Somebody needs to clean out all that dust and grime, and that somebody is us. Let McCoy's Heating and Air professionally clean your system so cool air can flow where it needs to go. Schedule now and you can get your cleaning for only $90. Call McCoy's Heating and Air at 731-668-7492 or visit airmccoy.com. McCoy's Heating and Air, Jackson's most trusted team of technicians.
Fleet Feet, your locally owned source for the best shoes for school, work, running, and everyday comfort. They offer a 3D scan of your feet and professional fitting. Fleet Feet sells the top-selling brands Hoka, OnCloud, and Brooks. To add comfort to your spikes or other performance shoes, let Fleet Feet fit you for a pair of arch support inserts. Get the quality you want and the service you deserve at Fleet Feet in Jackson on Oil Well Road beside Walgreens.
At Dynamics Physical Therapy, we help our clients get back to doing what they love. Dynamics is now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
Thompson & Smith, the area's premier independent insurance brokerage, has been serving families and businesses in the region through its founding companies since 1927. With their many insurance company partners, Thompson & Smith provides insurance products for family, home and auto, contractors, retailers, restaurants, manufacturers, medical and dental clinics, as well as any other business or organization seeking quality coverage, risk management expertise, and customer-focused service. Call them today to discuss your insurance needs.
Chase Gardner is out on the mound for USJ. As we mentioned, Fayette Academy in the opener just was all over Sacred Heart, 27-4, an 18-run third inning, something that I don't know that anybody, including their coach, in this arena tonight has ever seen. So it's up to Chase to try to cool them down this evening. Our temperature as we start this game, 64 degrees, and the real feel is 63. This is not yet May weather, folks. I can tell you, we have tried our best to get springtime here, and it is winter that is still hanging on. And we expect that after sunset, which is about 7:43 this evening, that temperature is going to plunge down into the mid-50s before we're done tonight. So all of the hoodies, all of the blankets, all of the big jackets are back out for the fans who have made their way here to Overton Stadium to watch this evening. But wherever you are, we hope you are in the warmth of your living room or wherever you may be happening to watch this online. If you're able to cast this up to your big 65-inch screen in your living room, we hope that you're going to have a great time tonight. And Carson Klein, the second baseman, is up for the first pitch from Gardner, and the West Region Baseball Tournament is just about underway for Division II, and it is. And there is a high fly ball, just curves, didn't go any distance, and it went right to the shortstop for out number one. So one pitch, one out for Chase Gardner. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Jacob Walker. And that's going to be a slow roller. Chase gets over to first and tags the bag and gets him. So heads-up play by first baseman Maddox Rabin, and also by the pitcher to get over there and cover the bag. And so that scored 3-1, first baseman to pitcher, and we got two pitches, two outs. And here's Colton Carson, the catcher. Well, that's the way the fans like for it to open up. And the pitch, good fastball, and that is tapped foul down the first base line. So they had about a 35-minute break between games so that everybody could get loosened up for this one. That one's a little low, and to get the field back into shape. That's low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and nobody on for Fayette Academy. I don't think any of us expected on May the 1st that it would be dipping down into the low 60s as we started a game, and that one's inside and low for ball 2. But we can't control the weather. All we can do is just say enjoy it wherever you happen to be tonight. And the wind and the pitch. That one down in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strikes to Carson. The pitcher, Luke Jenkins, and he's one who can go a long way on the mound. He would be next. And you got to expect that if he sees one that he likes here, he'll be going for it. Here's the wind and the pitch. Low for ball 4, and so Carson gets on with a walk. And that will indeed bring up Luke Jenkins, the pitcher. Chase has had some absolutely solid outings, sometimes of the hard luck variety, in that he pitched well enough to win but just couldn't get enough runs. They swung and a miss. He was going for the left field fence on that one, but missed it for strike 1. I see a Corgi who is here with his bandana, and that one's in there for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Jenkins. And my friend Paul Hutchison is showing up now in his camouflage garb. And the wind of the pitch. And he struck him out, and heads up play by Max Kilburn to tag him out. And so it was indeed no runs, no hits, no errors. The walk didn't bother them. And so at the end of a half inning of play, it's Fayette Academy nothing, and the Bruins just now coming into bat.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
Turn to the experts. Since 1955, Garrett Plumbing and Heating has been the leader in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning service and installation for West Tennessee. A proud supporter of USJ Bruin Athletics, we are your local Carrier Factory authorized dealer. Call Garrett Plumbing and Heating, 668-3339, for all of your plumbing, heating, and air needs.
Luke Jenkins taking his warm-up tosses for Fayette Academy. For the Bruins, starting off again, it's the lineup that we have had for quite some time now. Kurt Salmons, the left fielder, will be leading off, followed by Max Kilburn, the catcher, and Nash Kilburn, the right fielder. And say hello to a lot of the Kilburn guys' relatives who tune in to our broadcasts. And batting fourth will be Wyatt Scott, the center fielder, Clennon Harden, the shortstop. In the 5 spot, designated hitter Jackson Sills is batting 6th. Batting 7th, Maddox Rabin, the first baseman. Down in the 8th spot is Brooks Jones, the second baseman. And starting at third base tonight is Berkeley Pettigrew. And Chase Gardner is not in the hitting lineup. He is your pitcher. Jenkins is a tough pitcher. He has a good fastball. He has a good changeup. And Kurt Salmons is going to be hitting left-handed against the right-handed pitching of Jenkins. And here's the wind and the pitch. And that one is strike 1. You got to wonder, after you take out a team 27-4 emotionally, I mean, you got to be on a big high, but are you at a point where you gave it all up there in that game, and there you go in the corner for strike 2, no balls and 2 strikes to Kurt Salmons? This really begs to be more of a pitching duel. And the pitch, and that one's inside and gets away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kurt's done an outstanding job in left field. We've seen him the last couple of games that we've had in which he's made some stellar sliding and shoestring catches over in left field. And he hit one that is out of play down the right field line. So we'll keep it at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sun is going down enough that the shadows are now behind the pitching mound, but it's still a lot of sunshine in the outfield, and he went around on it for strike 3. That is out number 1. And that will bring up the athlete himself, Max Kilburn, the catcher. Max has 30 hits on the season. He's got 15 runs batted in. I'll tell you what, he and his brother there are a great 1-2 combination, and he takes that one for ball 1. They're a great 1-2 combination about getting on base, whether it's taking pitches or doing whatever it takes as far as just getting the ball into the outfield and getting on base. They've done a terrific job this season. And there's a pitch. And that one's outside, ball 2. Max thought about reaching out for that one, and then he stopped it. So Jenkins goes 2-0 on Max. And outside for ball 3, so he's going 3-0, and you got to believe that Max is going to be taking this one all the way. Jenkins does not typically, and in the game we had earlier, he didn't get behind too many hitters. The wind and the pitch. Right down in there for strike 1 call. 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out. And let's see what he does with the 3-1. And there's one that is socked. And that's going to roll back for, you're going to have to hold him to a single. He thought about going to second on it. And I can tell you, Max clapping his hands, he wanted to go to second because that one was a long single to left center field. But as we told you, that's just typical of the Kilburns, whatever it takes to get on base. And here comes Nash Kilburn, the little freshman right fielder. Max and Nash are both threats to go if they're on the base paths. And Wyatt Hondo Scott, the center fielder, would be next. The wind and the pitch. Good lead over there at first by Max, but he chose not to go. 1 ball and no strikes. Max getting a good lead. Jenkins has got a good move to first base. That wasn't it. He really just bluffed him back to first. Bruins in their blue uniforms with red trim tonight. And here's the pitch. And that one's going to go into left center field for a base hit. They'll have to hold him at second. That slow roller made it just into the reach of the outfield, and so you got runners at first and second, but it's a good start for the Bruins. And here's Hondo Scott, the center fielder, with runners on first and second and 1 out. Clennon Harden, the shortstop, would be next. So the Bruins start right off with 2 hits here in the first inning. And Jenkins delivers. And that one's high for a ball. So when you got Max and Nash at first and second, it really puts a mental strain on the pitcher because he knows they're a threat to double steal, and he steps off the mound for that very reason. So Wyatt gets back into the batter's box. And here's the wind and the pitch. And got the corner for strike 1. A ball and a strike. The winner tonight goes to North Point Christian on Wednesday evening. As the D2 West Region Tournament continues, boy, he had a cut, but nothing but air for Wyatt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was his good fastball from Jenkins. So here we go. Runner still on first and second. I doubt they're going to be moving with this pitch. And here it is. And that one's fouled back just beyond the concession area. So we'll rewind 1 ball and 2 strikes again. And they are continuing to trickle in here at Overton Stadium with every degree of November and December clothing, with every good reason. Looks the runner back at second in the pitch, and he chased one for strike 3. So that's the second strikeout for Luke Jenkins, and that brings up Clennon Harden, the shortstop. So it's 2 down. It's going to take a clutch hit now from Harden as Jenkins managed to work his way out of Hondo Scott with a strikeout. This guy throws a lot of strikeout pitches. And he winds and got him on a curve for strike 1. No balls and a strike with 2 outs. Here in the bottom half of the first inning, we have no score. Bruins with 2 hits to open up the inning. And here's the pitch. That one gets away, but not far enough that Max Kilburn could advance to third. Good job by Colton Carson, the catcher, of keeping that one in front. A ball and a strike. Let's see if Jenkins comes with heat this time. Nope, he's going to go to second. Easily back in is Max Kilburn. You can tell they got respect for the Kilburns when they're on base. The last time we had these two together, that happened on 3 different occasions. And here's the pitch. And he hit him. Got him on the shoulder, and I can tell you we could hear that one up here in the press box. That was just above the elbow, if not right on it. So Clennon Harden goes down to first, and that advances Kilburn and Kilburn. Max down to third and Nash to second, and Clennon on first, shaking off a little bit of that pain. And here's Jackson Sills, the designated hitter, with the bases loaded and 2 out. Jackson has good power, but frankly, all they need from him is a base hit and likely be able to bring in 2 runs. So the Bruins are in a stretch right here where they could do some damage that could give a lot of help to Chase Gardner on the mound, and the umpire is coming out and telling the catcher Carson, let's get this thing going. So they are jammed for the Bruins in the first. We haven't had a grand slam for the Bruins this year. This would be the ideal time for it. Jenkins delivers. And that one's low for a ball. No place to put Jackson Sills. If he gets on and a run comes in, as it would naturally happen, then Maddox Rabin would be up. Jenkins fires. And that one is low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And again, the runners are going to take their leads. Jenkins, the stretch and the pitch. High, ball 3. And you can hear the anticipation from the Bruin fans with every single ball. You got to believe he's going right down the middle with this one. Here's the 3-0. Inside, we have a run. Walked him on 4 pitches. So give an RBI to Jackson Sills. Max Kilburn comes in. And here's Maddox Raven, the first baseman, with a run in, and the base is still loaded. So he's thrown 6 consecutive balls, and that is not characteristic of Luke Jenkins. And the pitch. And Maddox had a cut on that one and missed it for strike 1. This is the 7th Bruin to bat in the inning. Here's the wind. And the pitch. High, ball 1. If Maddox brings in a run, and that one almost got away, was a heads-up play by the shortstop to recover it because that could have allowed a run to score. If Maddox brings in a run, then Brooks Jones, the second baseman, will be up. The 1-1 with the bases loaded. And that one is fouled out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Maddox is going to have some clutch hitting here now with a 1-2 count and 2 out. Jenkins fires and struck him out. So he struck out 3 in the inning, but he gave up 1 run on 2 hits. He had a walk and a hit batsman. There were no errors, and 3 men left on base. But the Bruins have a run, and they lead it 1-0 at the end of the first inning.
For anyone contemplating pre-planning, we can tell you from our experience, it's much easier to make funeral plans and record them now than wait until emotions are running at their highest.
With pre-planning, you can free your mind and heart from having to make big decisions during a time of grief and instead enjoy the freedom to focus on the memories of a life well lived.
King Jewelers is not your typical run-of-the-mill jewelry store. Grover is a certified jeweler with 35 years experience. This isn't just a jewelry store. It's an iconic symbol of love. How far would you go for love? King Jewelers, 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson.
Chase Gardner has been staked to a 1-0 lead as we get ready to start the top half of the second, and leading off will be the designated hitter, Hayden Fly, not to be confused with Hayden Fry, who was the head coach of Minnesota State University football on the legendary sitcom Coach that many of you may remember. He'll be followed by Matthew Kosser, the first baseman, and the center fielder, Jake Grant. So the coaches head down to their respective positions, and here we go with the right-handed hitting Fly. In the first inning, Chase struck out 1. He gave up a walk, but it didn't hurt. And his opening pitch to Fly, and that's a high fly ball that's going to the right fielder. Nash Kilburn under it and takes it one-handed for out number 1. Those late sun shadows can really be tough on the outfielders, and particularly going over there toward right field where you're looking almost straight into the sun. Here's Kosser, the first baseman. And the wind and the pitch. That's another high fly ball, and that is going into left center field, and a trip up. What a collision we had between both the center fielder and the left fielder, but he is out. Tell you what, that was almost like watching a professional wrestling move with tag team partners on the way that all connected between Kurt Sammons and Wyatt Scott, but fortunately both of them are okay. 2 pitches, 2 flyouts. And that brings up Jake Grant, the center fielder. And he fouls one out of play. Guys in the outfield, don't do that again. I think you had about 50 blood pressures going sky high when that collision occurred. No balls and a strike. Gardner delivers outside for a ball and a strike. He's only allowed one base runner so far. Seems to really have his good stuff tonight. Fires that one, hits the corner for strike two. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Absolutely perfect evening, except I know a lot of these that are bundled up here would say except for the temperature. And almost in there, just missing. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. He's been working ahead of most of the hitters. And the wind and the pitch. And that one is right to the shortstop. What a play by Clennon Harden. Timed his jump perfectly and snagged it for out number 3. So, once again, no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. At the end of an inning and a half with that exciting catch, it is the Bruins 1 and the Vikings nothing.
Ready for spring cleaning? Don't forget your HVAC system. Somebody needs to clean out all that dust and grime, and that somebody is us. Let McCoy's Heating and Air professionally clean your system so cool air can flow where it needs to go. Schedule now and you can get your cleaning for only $90. Call McCoy's Heating and Air at 731-668-7492 or visit airmccoy.com. McCoy's Heating and Air, Jackson's most trusted team of technicians.
Football looks fun. I bet I would have been great at it. The first football playing deer, they would have made a movie about me and everything. Probably get Kurt Russell to play me. But alas, me and my dreams run right over again.
For fast, reliable collision repair, trust the experts at Mitchell's Body Shop. And get back out there.
Oh, we have a good pitching matchup as Jenkins takes his warm-up tosses for the second inning. Brooks Jones, the second baseman, will lead it off, followed by the third baseman, Berkeley Pettigrew, and the left fielder, Kurt Sammons, will be back up for his second time. And what a catch that was at the end of the second inning. Clennon Harden just timed his jump perfectly, floated almost like he was doing the hurdles in track, and managed to snag that one before it went into the outfield for a base hit. So it's been 2 scoreless innings so far by Chase Gardner. And they whip the ball around the infield as Jones gets set to stand in. That wind is still whipping out of the west, and it is going about 12 miles an hour right now. So if you get one out there into right field, that could get a wind-aided home run. You got to be hitting it just right if you are a left-hander to have that happen. And that one is going to be tapped between the second baseman, fires, and he did not get him. Infield hit for Brooks Jones, and that's a testament to his speed. That one took about 6 bounces, and it went between the pitcher and the second baseman, and there was just no way that you were going to get the speedy Brooks Jones, so he is on first with the Bruins' third hit of the game. And here's Berkeley Pettigrew, the third baseman. So the Bruins have had men on base in both of the first 2 innings. And he's going for the bunt. And he is easily going to get the runner down to second. That is pitcher to first baseman. But successfully, with the sacrifice, moves Brooks Jones over to second. So we're back up to the top of the order with Kurt Sammons, and then Max Kilburn would be after him. Kurt struck out his first time up. And he's got Brooks Jones down there at second. And Jenkins delivers. Outside, no, hit the outside corner for strike one. Jenkins does not get rattled when he's got men on base. He just tries to do his job, and that one's outside for certain. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the sun has just about gone behind the stadium now, except for just a small portion over in right field. You still see a bit of sunlight that can be a problem for the outfielders. And he thought about going back to second, but just stepped off the rubber. So we'll rewind the tape once again. Jenkins, the stretch and the pitch. And that is low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike with a man on second and 1 out here in the second inning for the Bruins as they lead 1-0. This is a night that the concession stand should do quite well. And just missed it. 3 balls and a strike. It's been a nice day altogether in Jackson, Tennessee. Temperature got up to about 68 degrees, and now we're looking at 62 here at 7:30. And the pitch, it just missed him, but it doesn't matter. It is a walk. He walked him on 5 pitches. So Kurt is on base. And Max Kilburn, with 2 men on base and 1 out, has a chance to do some damage here. He singled his first time up and came in on a bases-loaded walk by Jackson Sills. Bruin baseball right here on the BallGame Blitz Sports Network tonight, and we're glad to have you aboard. And he tosses back to second. That was casual. Just trying to keep Brooks Jones honest. Brooks up there thinking, he said, why do you think I would do such a thing? They're taking their leads at first and second. And here's the pitch. And the runner is going, and it's going to be a double steal attempt, and they are going to make it. They stole that one on the pitcher. No doubt about it. So Jones goes to third, and Sammons goes to second. Now that takes the force play away, and Max, with a 1-0 count, has all kinds of options. There's a big gap over here in the infield, left field, but that's inside. 2 balls and no strikes. There's a big gap between the shortstop and the third baseman. First baseman is playing in, hoping to get a play at the plate. In fact, he's playing in on the grass. And here's your pitch. And that one is going to be a high fly going down the right field line and out of play. Bregoris, he gave a good chase to that one, but it was just out of his range. So 2-1 now to Max Kilburn. Let's see if the athlete can deliver. Here's Jenkins' pitch. Right down in there for strike 2. Oh, boy, that was one that I think half the stands were looking at saying, why didn't you tee off on that one? But he took it all the way, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. With runners on second and third, a fly ball will bring in a run. And he chased one. They're going to have to toss it at first. And a high throw, but he gets him. So that is strikeout number 4 for Jenkins, and it's catcher to first baseman on the putout. So that means the left-hander Nash Kilburn is going to be all up to him with 2 outs. Jenkins got out of a jam with only 1 run scoring back in the first inning. Let's see if he can set them down here with runners on second and third. Nash had a single his first time up. And he's got another one. No, just foul. Oh, my. From our vantage point, it looked like that was going to drop and go down the line for extra bases, and it just bent foul. Oh, my. That would have probably scored at least 2, if not all. Well, let's put it this way. The second and third would have come in. So Bregorgas, he has to chase back into right field. Here is the 0-1, and that one is a high fly ball. The left fielder coming in, and it gets away from him. That's going to bring in both runs. That one just simply got away. You can't blame it on the sun with that one. So Wells allowed that one to get away from him, and so 2 runs have scored to make it a 3-0 game. Nash Kilburn made it down to second, and they're coming out to talk to, got a conference out on the mound with Luke Jenkins. So the Bruins now with 3 runs on 4 hits. And Hondo Scott to the plate. That was a big one for Nash Kilburn. The left fielder Wells might have had a play on it, but he was having to make a long, long run. And there's a high fly ball into left field and trying to get under it, and it drops for a base hit. And coming all the way in, and they just simply lost that one. I don't know if they lost it in the lights or wherever, but that simply got away from them. Somebody didn't call for that. So an RBI for Hondo, and the Bruins are up 4-0. So that's what you would call a bloop double. And Nash Kilburn came in, and that one's fouled back behind us for strike 1. And for the second straight innings, the Bruins have had 7 men to come to the plate. Clennon Harden is there now. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. No balls in the strike with 2 out. And that one dips low. It's 1-1, still a runner down at second in Wyatt Scott. 4 runs and 5 hits, 3 of them in this inning. And that one got around on it just a bit too quick, went down just below the Bruin dugout. So it's a ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Jenkins has struck out 4, but he has had some runners to be bunched up with each other, and Bruins have capitalized in every way they could in this inning to get 3 across the plate, and Clennon is going to step out. If he gets on, Jackson Sills, the designated hitter, would be next. The 1-2 coming from Jenkins. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, this has been an efficient inning for the Bruins in which they have managed to do good base running to get guys home, and that one gets away, and the runner's going to get down to third. And that's a wild pitch. And Jenkins does not do that too often, so we are now 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the runner on third. And the wind, the pitch. And that one is going into deep. And it's taken by the center fielder, a long running catch over in left center field. And he flies out. But for the Bruins, it was an efficient inning as they had 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they had 1 man left on base. And so at the end of 2 innings of play, it is USJ 4. Fayette Academy, nothing.
We offer live webcasting for families. It kind of came out of when so many warriors were going overseas to war. We have learned to offer families more choices, that we want to serve our families well and serve our families better.
Buying a home is a major milestone, and at the Bank of Jackson, we want to help you achieve it. Our mortgage specialists can assist you with conventional, VA, FHA, or construction loans, as well as USDA and THDA development loans. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Steve Beverly back from Overton Stadium with the Division II West Region Baseball Tournament, and USJ is out to a 4-0 lead as we go to the top half of the 3rd inning, and the right fielder, Mason Bregorgas, is getting set to stand in. He'll be followed by Eason Wells, the left fielder, and then we'll go back to the top of the lineup with Carson Klein, the second baseman. And Chase Gardner has to feel a jet of confidence with this 4-0 lead that he's been staked to in the first 2 innings. And he fires, and that one's outside for a ball. So far, he's only allowed 1 base runner, and that was on a walk. He struck out 1. It's been a very efficient game for him. There's a high fly ball going to deep left field, but under it, and taking it is Kurt Sammons for out number 1. They've hit some distance on him, but the outfielders have been in the perfect position, so none of them have hurt him. That's actually the 5th flyout of the game, and here comes Eason Wells, the left fielder. And that one's low for a ball. And the Bruins will have Sills, Rabin, and Jones coming up in their half of the 3rd. And Gardner delivers, and that one's tapped, and that's going to get by the 3rd baseman. That one looked like it may be going foul, and they're going to hold him to a single. So that's the first hit of the game for the Vikings. In case you joined us late, in the game immediately before this one, it was just, I don't know when I've seen a high school baseball game with this much of a runaway. 27-4, Fayette Academy over Sacred Heart with an 18-run 3rd inning. And that one's low for a ball. It was just like watching dominoes fall, particularly if you were a Sacred Heart fan. It was just, the entire place crumble. If you were a Fayette Academy fan, it was like you were having the rush of almost ecstasy out of that, seeing that one going on, and it was an extended inning. Here's the pitch, low for ball 3. So he's gone 3-0 on Carson Klein. He has not been behind the hitters very much at all the inning. Klein flied out to the shortstop in his first time up. And the pitch right down in there for strike 1 call. Jacob Walker, the shortstop, will be next. Bruins playing at double play depth. Klein's a good ground ball hitter. The pitch in there for strike 2, so he's rallied to make it a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes with that runner still down on first. It'll be interesting to see if he takes this one. The wind and the pitch. And that one's tapped foul down the third base line. Twilight has beset us, and so all of the lights are on in Overton Stadium tonight. We're in the top of the third. And the pitch. Just high. They go down. It's not going to matter because that's a walk. So it looked like he might rally and get him, but he puts him on 7 pitches, and so that sends Eason Wells down to second base, and so runners on first and second with Jacob Walker, the shortstop, on. He grounded out third baseman to pitcher his first time up. And Gardner delivers, and that one is tap foul. No balls and a strike. And we're right at 7:45 Central Time. As dusk sets in all around us, and the temperatures will begin to fall even more as this game progresses. A high fly ball into left field. Salmons is chasing it. And they cannot come up with it. And he's got a full-blown jam now. That'll go as a single. And they just simply lost it. So that is a long single and a fly ball single. And so that sends Eason Wells over to third and Carson Klein to second. And Colton Carson, the catcher, is up. He walked his first time. So this is the first major jam of the entire game being faced by Chase Gardner. And the pitch. Low for ball 1. No place to put him. They do have a play at every base. Luke Jenkins, the pitcher, would be next. Gardner. From the stretch. Inside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. He set him down on 2 hits so far, but this is one that's on the verge of a rally that would begin to slice into it, and there's only 1 out. Here's the pitch, and he tapped that one foul right there at the batter's box. 2 balls and a strike. Wells on third, Klein on second, and Walker at first. They could not get a runner home because they all had to wait to see if that was going to be caught. The wind and the pitch. That one's low into the dirt. Good job by Max Kilburn to hold it. 3 balls and a strike. It'll be interesting to see if Carson decides to take this one. But on a 3-1, you have to believe with the bases loaded, he's going to try to go for one if he sees a pitch he likes. And Gardner fires, and that one's up high for ball 4, and that's an RBI for Carson. So that makes it a 4-1 game as Wells trots home with the first run of the game for the Vikings. Klein goes over to the third, and Walker makes it to first. And the pitching coach is coming out to have a conversation. So Jenkins, the pitcher, has a chance to really help his cause now. The base is still loaded with only one out, and they're going to break up the conference now. Jenkins struck out his first time up. He is the only Viking to fan against Jenkins so far tonight. Fly ball would bring in a run. Base hit would bring in 2. And we're still in the top of the third. The stretch and the pitch. Fouled back. Had a good fastball that time. No balls and a strike. Chase has had some clutch situations to have to work out of this season and has done well with them. And he fires inside. Ball 1. Hayden Fly, the designated hitter, would be next. They're still playing back at double play depth. They're not really worrying about a force play at the plate. The third baseman is playing at a depth that he could do that. That's a high fly ball, and let's see if it's going to be just out of the infield. And Nash Kilburn calls for it and gets that ball back in quickly. What an arm Nash Kilburn had to stop that runner at third from going in. And it was also a good job by his brother to leap high to keep it from getting away from him. So Fly is in, and here's a big test for Gardner. Fly flied out to right field his first time up, but if he can nail this one, it'll be a great job of clutch pitching. And he fires. In there for strike 1. 2 out, bases loaded. And this is the 7th Viking to hit in this inning, a 4-1 lead for the Bruins. But if he gets out of this with only 1 run scoring, it's going to be a monumental job. And he fires, and that one is to the second baseman, fires on the first for out number 3. So it was 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. Your score at the end of 2.5, the Bruins 4, the Vikings 1.
Dynamics Physical Therapy, your elite provider in sports medicine and performance. Now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
The most important benefit when you buy from Jones Chevrolet at 3-Way? Peace of mind. Jones Chevrolet's warranty forever comes with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle. Powertrain coverage for as long as you own your vehicle. Find out more at Jones Chevrolet in 3-Way.
Our temperature has fallen to 61 degrees, and look at the guys up here in the special section. I'm telling you, now they are having a blast tonight. They don't care if the temperature gets down to 35 tonight, and it's not going down that low. But we have dropped to 61. That's 3 degrees less than when we started at 7 o'clock. And the wind is still blowing out of the west at 10 miles an hour, and that is making the wind chill about 57 degrees. That's what it feels like around here. And we got some toboggans, hoodies, full-blown jackets, parkas, everything. And it's May the 1st. Can you believe it? Well, one thing you can believe is Jackson Sills is up to the plate. He walked his first time up, had an RBI because it was a bases loaded walk. And that one on the outside corner for strike 1. Maddox, Raymond, Brooks Jones would be next. Jenkins delivers outside, a ball and a strike. Bruins have sent 7 men to the plate in each of the first 2 innings. They had that 3 spot in the second to give them at that time, a 4-0 lead. And that one's high for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. Sills a very patient hitter, as we saw in that first inning. Just missed the corner, 3 balls and a strike. And you've got to believe if he sees one down the middle, he'll probably go after it. Outfield playing at average depth, and he lines that one. The first baseman managed to snag it and touches the bag unassisted for out number 1. A hard hit ball by Jackson Sills, but it was right at the first baseman. And he trotted over to the bag to make it out number 1. And that sends up the first baseman, Maddox Raven. He struck out his first time up. And he'll be followed by the second baseman, Brooks Jones. Jenkins fires. Hits the inside corner for strike 1. Remember, the winner goes to North Point Christian on Wednesday evening. As the tournament continues, the stretch and the pitch, and he narrowly missed hitting him. Ball and a strike to Raven. Danny Giles down there at the third baseline. He's got his gloves on tonight. The pitch, that's low, 3 balls and a strike. Or make it 2 balls and a strike. This is a good hot chocolate night for folks, and most people don't even think of hot chocolate during the month of May, and that's fouled back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hot tea with lemon and honey. You name it, this is the kind of thing that you usually expect to be having in October or November. And here's the 2-2. And he hit him. Got him in the chest. So Maddox goes down to first, and that'll bring up Brooks Jones. You take your base runners any way you can get them. That is the second hit batsman delivered by Luke Jenkins tonight. Jones will be followed by Berkeley Pettigrew, the third baseman. And that one gets away, and they're not going to get him down at second as Brooks slides in. So he advances on the pass ball. A ball and no strikes to Jones. That takes your force play off. Brooks singled his first time up and ultimately scored. In that 3-run second inning. So Bruins with another threat down at second with Maddox Raven. And here comes the pitch from Jenkins. And that one gets away. He's going to try to make it to third, and it's safe. Slid in under the tag. That was one of those bang-bang plays. It's a wild pitch. But Maddox got in under the tag. It went back hard from the wall, and so he had a chance at a play, but Maddox made the slide, and so now the runner is on third. And 2 balls and no strikes. So you got him 90 feet away. A fly ball would bring in Maddox. And he steps out of the batter's box. Two balls, no strikes. And he steps out again. And Jenkins with a stretch. That's low for ball 3. So he'll probably be taking this pitch all the way. The wind and the 3-0. And that's low for ball 4. So I walked him on 4 consecutive pitches, and during that at-bat allowed Maddox Rabin to get all the way from first to third. And here comes Berkeley Pettigrew. And we are going to have a major meeting of the minds out at the mound. And Pettigrew is going down to get a sign from Danny Giles as to whether he should try for a bunt here. He successfully sacrificed his first time up, but he'll have runners on first and third, and we have what amounts to the equivalent of the Paris peace talks on the mound right now. And if you wonder what goes on in these kinds of meetings, it's basically situational. Where do we go? To what base? What play do we do? If it's a ground ball, what happens? If it is a short fly ball, how do we handle it? And it's just reminding everybody what to do in a given situation. So Pettigrew stands in with 1 out and runners on first and third. And he goes for the bunt. And they fire to first. He gets the runner down to second, so it's another sacrifice, but they could not get the run home. So once again, it's pitcher to first baseman. That's 2 sacrifices for Berkeley Pettigrew, so officially he has no trip to the plate. All right, here's Kurt Salmons, who he walked and scored his last time up. He struck out in the first inning. So he's had a plate appearance in every inning. And that one's way outside for a ball. Runners on second and third. But with 2 out, you got to get a hit or at least get him down to first base with a walk. And Kurt goes for one that dips low, a ball and a strike. When you get both runners in scoring position like this, you don't want to waste it because you need all the insurance runs that you can get, particularly this early against a Fayette Academy team. And he went after one again. Good fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So if Jenkins gets him here, it's going to be a big pitching job getting out of this jam. The wind and the pitch. High and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, 2 on. And a 4-1 lead for the Bruins. But looking for insurance. Here's the wind. The pitch. Inside. Gone full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is a very big payoff pitch for Luke Jenkins. All right, the wind, the stretch, and the pitch. That is low, ball 4, so they are loaded. 2 straight walks for Kurt Salmons, and that brings up Max Kilburn. Max singled and scored in the first inning. He struck out in the second. He is the 6th Bruin to hit in this inning, but remember, they've had 7 to come to the plate in every inning thus far. So Max is 1 for 2, but this is big with the bases loaded. Let's see what the athlete can deliver here. Jenkins has thrown a lot of pitches tonight. The stretch and the pitch, and that one is outside for a ball. No place to put him. His brother Nash would be next. And the right-hander fires. There's a drive, way back there, way back there. That ball is off against the wall. That is going to score 3 runs, a 3-run double for Max Kilburn. Oh my, that came within an eyelash of being out of here for a grand slam. But 3 runs have crossed the plate. He cleared them. And that brings up Nash Kilburn. And let's see if he can keep it going by bringing his brother in. 7-1. What a piece of clutch hitting by Max Kilburn. And so once again, 7 Bruins coming to the plate in an inning. And Max is down at second. That's low and inside for a ball. 7 runs on 6 hits for the Bruins. It has been the hit batsman and the bases on balls that have been a problem for Jenkins tonight. And he fires. Just caught the corner. Ball and a strike. Boy, that was a drive by Max Kilburn. And he fires. High, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Very, very patient hitter is Nash Kilburn. But boy, don't you know, here he is. He's got 3 more years to go. What a star he is going to be before his high school career is over. And here goes the 2-1. Inside, ball 3. Wyatt Scott would be next. 3-run double in this inning for Max Kilburn has given the Bruins a 7-1 lead. And as we say, they have been very efficient with the hitting and on the base paths. The 3-1. And there's one that is going... And the second baseman crosses in front of the shortstop and nabs it for out number 3. But once again, the Bruins send 7 men to the plate, and it was a 3-run double by Max Kilburn that almost got out of here, that brought in 3 more runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. So we have completed 3, and it is the Bruins 7, Fayette Academy 1.
Home furnishings, appliances, bedding, and so much more. Kaufman's. At the Bypass and Oil Well Road in Jackson. Home furnishings for every room in your home. Custom upholstery options too, with professional advice. Major appliances from America's top name brands. Mattresses and bedding accessories. Outdoor living and grilling too. And our fully stocked warehouse helps prevent supply chain delays. Kaufman's, for your life.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
Well, Chase Gardner has been staked now to a 7-1 lead as we go to the top half of the 4th. And what a piece of hitting by Max Kilburn with 2 out. Bases loaded, and he socked a deep 3-run double to left field that came with only about probably 10 feet short of getting out of here for a grand slam, but that was huge. Cleared the bases and now has given Chase Gardner a 6-run lead. He'll face Matthew Kosser, Jake Grant, and Mason Bregorgas. And the pitch. And that one is a lazy fly ball. And coming over to make the catch is Brooks Jones, the second baseman, for out number 1. He's had a number of one-pitch at-bats during the course of this contest tonight. Grant flied out to the shortstop. That was that floating play that you just watch Clinton Harden. I wish we'd had that one in slow motion for you because that was a beautiful thing to watch. Swing and a miss for Grant for strike 1. And the 0-1. Just a bit low, ball and a strike. BallGame Blitz Sports Network, powered by Worthy Road Studios, bringing you this playoff game in the Division II West Region Tournament. And he fires, and that one is caroming off to the left. So we have 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gardner did a good job of pitching out of a jam in the 3rd inning. He has not really thrown an excessive number of pitches in this game so far. And he fires. That one's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And on this chilly evening, let's see what he delivers for the 2-2. Just inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes, so he's gone full. He has stayed ahead of most of the hitters tonight. And he's ready to go. He's working with a pretty good bit of speed this evening. And rears back and fires. And it was outside for ball 4. So Grant on base with a walk. That is the 4th walk of the game for Gardner. And here comes Bregorgas, the right fielder, who flied out to left his first time up back in the 3rd. And there again playing back for a potential double play. Outside, no, it hit the corner for strike 1. Eason Wells, the left fielder, will follow. He has scored the only run of the game for the Vikings. And that one, high fly ball going back to center field. And instead, it is the right fielder, Nash Kilburn, who snags that one. A bit of a one-hand basket catch for out number 2. And that brings up Wells. He singled and scored on a bases-loaded walk by Colton Carson for the only run of the game so far for the Vikings. They only have 2 hits. Right down in there for strike 1 call. Grant is still down at first. There with a base on balls. And Gardner delivers. And got him on the corner. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 out here in the top of the 4th. The wind and the pitch. He struck him out. So the walk did no damage whatsoever. That is the 2nd strikeout of the game for Chase Gardner. It was no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. So we have completed halfway through the 7 innings of this game. 3.5 are done, and the Bruins still on top, 7-1.
Championship DNA. That's what you find at Jones Chevrolet at 3-Way. A full line of new Chevrolets plus West Tennessee's largest used car inventory. State-of-the-art service work and pre-approved auto loans online at JonesChevroletHumboldt.com. Shop with a winner. Jones Chevrolet at 3-Way.
Downtown is thriving and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
This could be a true story. On October 3rd, a 2003 hatchback struck and killed a deer that goes by the name Buck. I know, right? He now has Buck's head proudly displayed on his living room wall. He tells a different story.
Shot it.
No, he didn't.
And to hide his lie, he took his car to Mitchell's Body Shop.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. And lucky for him, they made it look good as new. And as for Buck, the story continues.
Well, we're moving right along. We've been at it an hour and 12 minutes, halfway through, and the Bruins with a 7-1 lead looking for insurance in the fourth. They've sent 7 men to the plate in every inning so far. This one will be Hondo Scott, Clennon Harden, and Jackson Sills. And Wyatt struck out in the first and doubled in the second. That was back when the Bruins had that 3 spot. He had an RBI, brought home a run with that double. Bruins 7 runs on 6 hits, no errors, 1 run on 2 hits for the Vikings. And as we say, Luke Jenkins has thrown an awful lot of pitches in these 3 innings that he has faced the Bruins so far. And he fires. That's in there for strike 1. Boy, the last inning, though, Max Kilburn teed off on one to left field that it cleared just about everything except the ballpark and brought home 3 runs. And he chased one down low, no balls and 2 strikes. But it has been the hit batsman and the bases on balls that have been a real problem tonight for Jenkins. And that's uncharacteristic for him, and that one is out of play. Still 0-2. So far tonight, he has walked 4 and hit 3. The stretch and the pitch. And that one's low. A ball and 2 strikes. The fans may be chilly tonight, but they have been enthusiastic. And Jenkins fires. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So here goes Hondo with the 2-2. He'll probably going for it if he sees something he likes, and he did. And missed it for strikeout number 5 for Jenkins. Clennon Harden, the shortstop, stands in. He was hit by a pitch ball in the first inning and flied out to center field in the second. Officially 0 for 1. And that one is low and outside for a ball. Jackson Sills, the designated hitter, is on deck. And Jenkins delivers. And a hard hit ball, third baseman picks it up. Fires way out of the way. And so he is down to first and is going to trot on down to second as that one is out of play. So that is a 2-base error. That just simply was one of those that the third baseman, Jared Fergie, it was like he'd had about 3 bowls of Wheaties and that arm was just too strong. So that's an E5, and here's Jackson Sills, who is 0 for 1 officially. He grounded out to the first baseman in the 3rd inning, and he had a bases-loaded walk, which gave him an RBI back in the 1st. And he's got a teammate down at second, trying to maneuver him in. Maddox Rabin will be next, and he steps off the rubber. You can tell he's worried a bit about Harden down there at second, and they're going to come back and talk to him again. Catcher and the second baseman coming out, and here comes the third baseman, and I think before long the first baseman may join them, but now this is again trying to make sure they've got their strategy right. Trying to determine if he hits a ground ball, do they try to go for a play at third, or is it going to be a standard go for it at first? When you're down by 6, you can't afford to take too many gambles. And that one's low, and it gets down away from him, but it's not far enough that the runner could advance. Carson lost it for a minute, then realized it was right there in the batter's box. Ball and no strikes with 1 out. And the pitch. Inside, that's going to get a runner to third. Now he's going to fire, but he's in there. So there you go with another pass ball. So now you got a runner 90 feet away, and Sills with a 2-0 count. So a fly ball will bring in Clennon Harden. And Jenkins with the pitch. Got it on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Bruins have had runners on base in every single inning and have scored in every inning. 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and 3 in the third. And there's a high, that one is out of play. High foul that goes onto the roof of the restroom just beyond the concession area. So it's 2-2 with 1 away. And here comes the pitch. And that one is going to go to, and they're not going to be able to get a, yep, they got him. They went to the plate, and the throw was on the near side, and it was able to allow the catcher the opportunity to get a tag on the leg of Clennon Harden. So it was a heads-up play. So you take the runner off third, and a fielder's choice sends Jackson Sills to first, and here comes Maddox Rabin. He was hit by a pitch ball his last time up, and he was one of the threesome who came in on that 3-run double by Max Kilburn. And that one's in there for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Still got Jackson Sills down there at first. And the pitch. And there's one that is going to go to, and it's a diving catch by the left fielder. That one looked like it was going to drop for a base hit, but it was a sliding catch by the left fielder, Eason Wells, for out number 3. So there was no runs on no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. So our score at the end of 4 remains the Bruins 7, the Vikings 1.
Do you want your smile to say it all? At Elite Dental Care, we'll make you and your family feel comfortable and secure with a variety of services and state-of-the-art care. We offer sedation dentistry that will make your time in the dental chair comfortable and relaxed. Come by and see our newly renovated and expanded office in Jackson or one of our other convenient locations in Trenton or Dyersburg. Trust your smile with Elite Dental Care and let your smile say it all.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
Our director this evening is the ever-cool Christopher Reasons, and on camera, Eric Inman, and of course our broadcast, the executive producer, as we always say, the head of the trucking company at Worthy Road Studios, is the one and only Paul Schultze. I'm Steve Beverly, your play-by-play announcer, and so we're going to the top half of the 5th. Bruins with a 6-run lead, and we're back to the top of the order for the 3rd time for Fayette Academy. Carson Klein, the second baseman, flied out to the shortstop, and he walked. And the key, and that one is a bit low, the key for Chase Gardner is just to continue smart pitching. He had to get out of a jam in the third and did so successfully. And he fires one on the corner. Ball and a strike. So far, he has shut Fayette Academy down on 2 hits. And fires outside. 2 balls and a strike. And the wind and the pitch. And a high fly ball. And that's out of play. So we're at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on and nobody out. Top half of the 5th inning. And as we say, this one has zipped along pretty well. And he fires the 2-2. And that one is a fly ball that is also going to be out of play. But the Bruins have done a good job, particularly when they've been given free passes in this game, of being able to capitalize on those gifts. And there's one that's going to be a one-hopper to the third baseman, fires on to Maddox Rabin, and it gets away. So the runner is safe at first. So Klein gets on the error. Maddox made a big stretch for that one. Here's Jacob Walker, the shortstop. He grounded out. First baseman to pitcher in the first inning. He singled in the third. And he went around on that one big time. 0-1 count. It would not be a surprise to me at all if they try to send the runner early to try to get somebody in scoring position. And that one low, but it does not allow the runner to advance. Ball and a strike. We are live from Overton Stadium on the beautiful campus of University School of Jackson, right here in Jackson, Tennessee. And that one's fouled out of play. Ball and 2 strikes with nobody out and a runner on first. And this has been a gem so far for Chase Gardner. He fires, the runner goes, and it's off the glove. Oh, my goodness. That's one of those that looked like it might be set up possibly for a double play, but it went off of Chase's glove, and now there are 2 on and nobody out. So score that one an infield hit. And that brings up Colton Carson, who has walked twice. He had a bases-loaded walk in the third for the only run that the Vikings have tallied, but he has an opportunity now to do some damage with nobody out here in the 5th. And runners at first and second. Gardner looks the runner back over at second and fires. That one's low. He's going to go for third. There he goes, and he held onto the ball a bit long before he released it, and that allowed both runners to advance. So they are both in scoring position now. So Walker now down to second, and Klein at third, and Carson with a 2-0 count. This isn't what we would call a full-blown jam, but he had to pitch out of some trouble in the third. And that one is tap foul. 2 balls and a strike. He struck out 2 tonight. And he's had 3 walks. It gets eerily quiet now as he prepares the 2-1. That one's low, 3-1. If he gets on, we're loaded for the pitcher, Jenkins. Bruins have a little space right now, but you don't want to let them get a 3, 4, 5-run rally here in the 5th. And he fires, and that one is a foul out of play. So we've gone full 3-2, and the payoff pitch is coming. And you would assume that the runners on base will be moving unless it's a fly ball that appears to be caught. And he fires and struck him out. Big strikeout. That's the third for Jenkins, and he got him with a fastball. As for Gardner, Jenkins is coming to the plate. So Chase with 3 strikeouts now, and Luke Jenkins, who has struck out and flied out. But he's got runners on second and third, so he can really help himself, and that one's in there for a strike. Hayden Fly, the designated hitter, will be next. And he delivers, and that one's just outside and rolls over into the right-hand batter's box. Ball and a strike with 1 out and 2 on. Let's see if he goes fastball here with a 1-1 count. And he fires. And that one is going to be sliced, and that may bring in 2 runs. And he's going to fire into the plate, standing up, and so it is a 2-run single for Jenkins, who does a lot to help himself there. So the opposing pitcher makes it a 7-3 game. Good job of hitting. He went with the pitch and just sliced it in the gap between the first and second baseman. So 2 RBIs for Luke Jenkins, and that brings up Fly, who has flied out to Nash Kilburn in right field and grounded out second to first. So 2 are in, and that's on the outside corner for a strike. 2 are in now for the Vikings to make it a 7-3 game. And he fires. Just missed the corner. A ball and a strike. And he fires again, and that one's down into the dirt. Good job of stopping it by Kilburn. So we've gone 2-1. Not too worried with the runner at first right now. That one's high, so he's gone 3-1. He's thrown a lot of pitches in this inning. And we've been at it for an hour and a half as we're in the top half of the 5th. Gardner's job right now is just to try to hold it at this 4-run margin. And that one is low and outside, and so he has delivered his 4th walk of the game. Runners on first and second, and still only 1 out. And here's Matthew Kosser, the first baseman. He's flied out to left and flied out to the second baseman, and they are on the mound, and that is going to be it for Chase Gardner. And I think Danny Giles just noticed something that he thought the time has come to go to the bullpen. So we'll tell you about the new pitcher right after this. Bruins still on top, 7-3 here in the top half of the 5th.
Tired of going to the dealerships only to see empty spaces? Then come to Carlock Nissan of Jackson. We have over 60 new vehicles in stock and more coming in daily. You can see, feel, and of course smell that new car smell. Save up to $8,600 off MSRP on a new Nissan. Plus, special APR financing as low as 1.9%. It's all at Carlock Nissan of Jackson. You should already be here.
Mention BallGame Blitz Sports Network and receive a free gift.
Nash Kilburn is coming in relief to pitch with a 7-3 lead, but runners on first and second. You can close the book on Chase Gardner. 4 1/3 innings. He gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. He walked 5 and struck out 3. But it was here in the 5th inning that things began to fall apart a bit, and Danny Giles just took a look in after that last base on balls, decided that he'd had enough for the evening, and so Nash, who's done a terrific job, and he's a good strikeout pitcher, so he comes in from right field to take over on the mound, and he'll be facing Kosser, the first baseman. The Vikings have sent 5 to the plate and scored 2 this inning. They've been the beneficiary of a walk and an error that have helped things. So now the job for Kilburn is to try to set them down without any more damage. And that one is a high fly ball into right field, giving big chase, and it gets away from him. He jumped high for it, and they're going to fly that ball into the infield, and a run is going to come home. And no, he slid in under the tag. It looked as though they had a chance to get him at the plate. So that is an error on the right fielder. And runners are now on second and third. That was a high fly ball, but it was catchable. So we now have a 7-4 game. There's a strike. And runners are on second and third. Don't give him an RBI for that one. 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 error now. That one's inside. Ball and a strike with 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position. So Kilburn has his work cut out for him. A strikeout would be very big right here. And that one is fouled off, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. They've had 2 hits, a walk, and 2 errors in this inning that have made a huge difference, and this is the 7th batter of the inning for the Vikings, their biggest inning so far. He fires, and that one is going to the shortstop. He's going to take the play at first, and Maddox cannot dig it out. It was a bit low, and he took a hop on it, and so another run comes home to make it a 7-5 game. So this has been a 4-run inning for the Vikings. And that brings up the 8th hitter of the inning, Mason Gregorgas. Third error of the inning for the Bruins. That's high for a ball. So they are on the corners. Grant is on first, Kosser on third. And the pitch, high. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. It was 7-1 coming into the inning. It is now 7-5. And still only 1 out. Nash delivers, fouled out of play. 2 balls and a strike. Eason Wells, the left fielder, would be next, and he has singled earlier in the contest. The left-hander delivers, going for a bunt and fouls it off to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Thought about a suicide squeeze there to see if he could possibly bring in that runner from third and cut it to a 1-run game. So this is a big 2-2 pitch for Nash Kilburn. And low, ball 3. Fans thought it was in there, but the official says no, and he counts. You got 75 fans in the stands. He counts for 76 votes. And he fires it, and that one's fouled off out of play. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 1 out, and 4 runs in for the Vikings. It has frankly been all Bruins up until this 5th inning. The pitch, and that's a high fly ball. It's probably going to bring in another run. That's in deep center field, and that easily scores the run from third, and so we have ourselves a 1-run game, 7-6. So the sacrifice fly to the center fielder brings home Matthew Kosser. Runner on first now with Eason Wells as the Vikings have batted around in this inning. The left fielder has singled and scored, and he has struck out. And it's critical for Kilburn to get him down. That one's low for a ball. 5 runs are in for the Vikings. Earlier today in their game against Sacred Heart, we saw this team put 18 on the board in a single inning. That is something that I know and that's a high fly ball. You got 3 guys chasing after it and taken by the right fielder for out number 3. But not before they picked up 5 runs on only 2 hits, 3 errors, and 1 man left on base. So, folks, we got ourselves a game now. We played 4.5. And your score, the Bruins 7, the Vikings 6.
Carlac Prestige is not your typical used car dealer. We have everything from a Porsche to this, and lots more. We inspect and repair all our vehicles. Ask us to prove it. We will.
Carlac Prestige, Van Drive, Jackson.
At Arrington Funeral Directors, we accept all prearranged funerals. So you may have prearranged your funeral in this town with another funeral home or even in another state, but we accept all prearranged funerals because we're here to serve families.
Ready for spring cleaning? Don't forget your HVAC system. Somebody needs to clean out all that dust and grime, and that somebody is us. Let McCoy's Heating and Air professionally clean your system so cool air can flow where it needs to go. Schedule now and you can get your cleaning for only $90. Call McCoy's Heating and Air at 731-668-7492 or visit airmccoy.com. McCoy's Heating and Air, Jackson's most trusted team of technicians.
We are grateful to all of our fine sponsors for supporting this Division II West Region tournament, and particularly for their support of Bruin baseball. So now the pressing need is to recalibrate and attempt to see if you can get some insurance runs. Here's Brooks Jones. He has singled and walked. He scored both times. So 1 for 2, 2 runs scored for Brooks Jones. He's done some clutch hitting so far tonight and clutch taking. And that one's low for a ball. But Jenkins may be re-energized out there. Again, he's thrown a lot of pitches, but he had been trailing by 6 runs, and then that 5 spot in the 5th has completely changed the complexion of this game. And that one is fouled up high, and it could be on top of our building, but instead it is behind us. A ball and a strike. And Jenkins delivers. And that one is going to be Tapper right back beyond the batter's circle, so we have gone 1-2. Bruins had 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third. They had a threat in the fourth, but couldn't get anybody home. And another 1-2 to Brooks Jones. High, ball 2. The wind from Jenkins and the pitch. And that one is grounded foul. Good stop over there at first base. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trying once again to see if they've had base runners in every single inning. And that one is fouled off to the right. Out of play. So Brooks is hanging tough. Vikings sent 9 to the plate in that 5th inning. The stretch and the pitch. And he went after one that was low. They're going to have to go to first. And in the ground, but they dug it out for out number 1. And that is the 6th strikeout of the game for Jenkins. Logan Foster comes in to hit for Berkeley Pettigrew. And that one is sliced into right field for a base hit. So man on first now with 1 out. Kurt Salmons struck out his first time out, but he's walked twice since. He scored both times. So officially 0 for 1, but 2 runs in the game. He's also stolen a base. But we got us a tight one here, 7-6. Outside and high for a ball. Max Kilburn will be next. Here's the wind and the pitch. Went around on it. Ball and a strike. Has a distinctively different mood here at Overton Stadium for the home fans after that 5th inning with the Vikings. And that one is low. 2 balls and a strike. But these fans are bundled up, as we mentioned. They got a Corgi over there who has been, I think, as brave as anybody, who's sitting with his owner, who has a toboggan on and about every kind of protective gear that you could imagine. That's fouled back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's put it this way. I don't think we have many people with short sleeves on in the stands tonight. Temperature has dropped down to 59 degrees. And the pitch. And that one is going to drop down into left field for a base hit. And the runner's going to try to make it to third. He's going to fly in there and gets in safely. And the runner moves to second. So Salmons with a single, and then he moves to second on the throw. And the Bruins have something going. Here's Max Kilburn after 2 straight singles by Logan Foster and Kurt Salmons. And Max has had a terrific night tonight. He's had a double and a single. He has scored. That double was a 3-run double back in the 3rd inning that really opened the floodgates. He struck out in the 2nd, but he powered one back in the 3rd inning that looked like it was going to get out of here, and they're going to try to break up this meeting of the minds on the mound. So Bruins trying to answer at least a portion of those 5 runs that the Vikings came up with. And here we go. So Max has been a very patient hitter so far tonight. Also done some good base running. And he's got 2 teammates in scoring position and only 1 out. And he's going to step back off the mound. Nash Kilburn would be next. He's had a couple of hits tonight. Between the 2 Kilburns, 5 RBIs this evening for out of the 7 runs that the Bruins have. And the pitch to Max. And that one's low. A ball and no strikes. And again, only 1 out. Get these 2 in. You can't call it a cushion, but it certainly would feel a lot better than a 1-run game. And that one's going to get away, and the runner's going to try to make it, and he is a dead duck. They got him. He tried to step around the tag and came back and touched the plate, but they got him. The runner on second advanced to third. That was a big gamble trying to come home on that one. So now it's 2-0, but 2 are out, and you only have the runner on third. And here's the wind to Max. Low for ball 3. So you put him on, and they would be on the corners for his brother. All right, let's see what he delivers for the 3-0. He's going to be taking it all the way. And it's right. No, it was high for ball 4. So Max is on with a walk. And here's Nash. He had a single in the first inning. He had a 2-run double back in the second. He flied out to the second baseman in the third. And here's where they need him in the clutch. He steps out. And a little confusion on the signs. Seems like Jenkins has been in a jam every single inning that he has pitched, but yet he trails by only a run. And the fire, and there goes one. Is it over the bag? No, it is foul. Oh, that was an eyelash away of going over the first base bag. But it bent foul. No balls and a strike. Nash is a good pull hitter. And here comes the 0-1. Runner going at first, but he goes back. Ball and a strike. And here we go with the 1-1 from Jenkins. And the runner thought about it. And that is going to get through the hole for a base hit. And it is an 8-6 game. Clutch hitting by Nash Kilburn. And that brings home Kurt Salmons with run number 8. And the ball got away, and as you just saw it, he tried to advance, and they nailed him, but the run does count. So for the Bruins, it was an unfortunate base running mistake there, but they ended up with 1 run on 1, 2, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. So they at least got 1 out of it. Bruins lead it 8-6 as we go to the 6th.
Fleet Feet, your locally owned source for the best shoes for school, work, running, and everyday comfort. They offer a 3D scan of your feet and professional fitting. Fleet Feet sells the top-selling brands Hoka, OnCloud, and Brooks. To add comfort to your spikes or other performance shoes, let Fleet Feet fit you for a pair of arch support inserts. Get the quality you want and the service you deserve at Fleet Feet in Jackson on Oil Well Road beside Walgreens.
Dynamics Physical Therapy. We help our clients get back to doing what they love. Dynamics is now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
This is one of those situations that I probably should say, y'all excuse me, as my director noticed that I was taking a bite out of a protein bar here as time has occurred for us to come back in. Bruins got one back in the fifth. We're going to the sixth, an 8-6 lead, and it's on Nash Kilburn's shoulders in relief. And he's going to face the top of the order with Carson Klein, the second baseman. Shortstop, Jacob Walker, and Colton Carson, the catcher. And there's a strike. Klein is officially 0 for 2. He has scored a run back there in the fifth. He had a walk in the third. And he flied out. That's going to be a two-hopper to the third baseman. Fires on to first. Reaching up for that, Maddox Rabin for out number one. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Jacob Walker. He's had two singles tonight. He scored one of the 5 runs that came in the fifth. He grounded out in the first inning, so 2 for 3 with a run scored, and that one low for a ball. As we say, Nash has done a good job in relief, and he could get the save tonight. And that one's fouled out of play. Ball and a strike. Getting close to the 2-hour mark of this game, but it's still gone pretty swiftly. And one after one that dipped. Nice curveball. Ball and 2 strikes. Steve Beverly here as we are in the top half of the sixth at Overton Stadium in Jackson, Tennessee. And the pitch. He went after one. Now they're going to have to throw it on to first. He's got to hurry up with it. And that was a bad base running mistake by Walker. Give him the strikeout. And that is the first strikeout for Nash Kilburn. And the runner was fooled, and somehow you had Max Kilburn that came up with it, and he just delayed. He should have kept going, and he was tossed out at first. And that one's in there for a strike one call. So this would be big for Nash to be able to knock him down 1, 2, and 3 in the sixth inning. And that one is rolling on a 3-hopper to the shortstop. Long stretch by Maddox Rabin for out number 3. So that was a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a very quick one. No one left on base. So we have completed 5.5, and your score, the Bruins 8 and the Vikings 6.
Thompson & Smith, the area's premier independent insurance brokerage, has been serving families and businesses in the region through its founding companies since 1927. With their many insurance company partners, Thompson & Smith provides insurance products for family, home and auto, contractors, retailers, restaurants, manufacturers, medical and dental clinics, as well as any other business or organization seeking quality coverage, risk management expertise and customer-focused service. Call them today to discuss your insurance needs.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
So the center fielder, Jake Grant, comes in to pitch. Now, that does not necessarily mean that we've seen the last of Jenkins, because he's had some games this year that he has come out and returned to pitch. But if that is the end for Jenkins tonight, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 8 runs, 5 hits, and he walked 6. Hit 2 men, and he struck out. Get our totals right here. He struck out 6. But he got really hit in the 2nd and 3rd inning when he gave up 3 runs in each of those. So the Bruins trying to see if they can extend this 8-6 lead here in the 6th, and then leave it in the hands of Nash Kilburn to set down Fayette Academy in the 7th. Hondo Scott, the center fielder, leads it off. And he went around on one. That is not Hondo, in fact. That is Aubrey Sellers. I knew that didn't look like Aubrey before I even didn't see his number. I mean, it didn't look like Hondo, and it is Aubrey, and he's got strike 2. Yeah, the body types are distinctively different. Let's say that. My friends in the press box getting entertained by that one. 1-2 the count. I want to salute all of these gentlemen here in the press box for everything they do for this USJ team, the scoreboard, everything. There's a lady in here too, but all of them, they do just such a tremendous job, and they're very efficient, bringing us the music in between innings, and our PA announcer. It is just really a pleasure to be here with them. And the pitch. And Aubrey flies that one up. Is it going to stay in play? No, it is not. He'll be followed by Clennon Harden, the shortstop, and designated hitter Jackson Sills. So the 1-2 coming to Aubrey Sellers. High fly ball. That's going to stay in play, and the third baseman is underneath it and takes it one-handed for out number 1. Clennon Harden, the shortstop. Let's check his register tonight. He is officially 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, flied out deep to center field in the second, and then he reached base. He reached base on an error in the 4th inning. And that's a high foul that is going to be way off to the right. And there's a little kid who is making a mad dash over there for that souvenir. Except in high school ball, the souvenir is you get to touch it and throw it back to somebody. Here comes the 0-1. And there's one that is going to go into left center field for a base hit. So Clennon with his first hit of the game, and that is the 10th hit of the game for the Bruins. Hard hit ball it was, and here comes Jackson Sills. Walked, and you gave him an RBI in the first inning. He also got on a fielder's choice in the 4th. And he grounded out to the first baseman back in the 3rd. He's officially 0 for 2. But he has an RBI, and that's outside for a ball. So Jake Grant has come on here in the 6th to take over and see if he can keep the Bruins down to a 2-run lead. He has an out and a runner on first. And that one is a long drive that is going deep into right field, and the right fielder drops it. And he gets in there. That would have been a force play. So score that an error on the right fielder. That was a hard hit ball. So you now have runners at first and second. And here's Maddox Rabin, the first baseman. He has struck out and flied out, and he has been hit by a pitch ball and scored. He was one of those who scored on that triple that was hit earlier back in the third inning. And they've hit some rockets off of Grant here in this sixth inning. The Bruins want to engineer this one where they don't have to come back to bat in the seventh. And here's Maddox with runners on first and second and one out. And that one is going to be a bouncing ball, and they flip it over to second on to first. It's a double play. So a ground ball double play ends the threat. So it was no runs on one hit. There was one error, and no one left on base. So we have completed 6. We've got to hold 'em Bruins as we go to the 7th. And USJ leading 8-6.
Turn to the experts. Since 1955, Garrett Plumbing and Heating has been the leader in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning service and installation for West Tennessee. A proud supporter of USJ Bruin Athletics, we are your local Carrier Factory authorized dealer. Call Garrett Plumbing and Heating, 668-3339, for all of your plumbing, heating, and air needs.
For anyone contemplating pre-planning, we can tell you from our experience, it's much easier to make funeral plans and record them now than wait until emotions are running at their highest.
With pre-planning, you can free your mind and heart from having to make big decisions during a time of grief and instead enjoy the freedom to focus on the memories of a life well lived.
So Nash Kilburn's job is to try to get him 1, 2, 3 so his teammates don't have to come up and hit again. He will face the heart of the order, including the original pitcher, Luke Jenkins, who's standing in right now. Jenkins has struck out, flied out. He had a 2-run single that really opened things up back in the 5th, and he fouls that one back to the screen. No balls and a strike. That really opened the floodgates that led to a 5-run inning and tightened this one up back in the 5th. Here's Nash's pitch, and that one is a fly out of play. So he's quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Nash has only faced 7 hitters since he came in back in the 4th, and that one is going to be out of play. And here we go, the 0-2 once again. And got him with a beautiful curveball. Second strikeout for Nash Kilburn. Pretty pitch. And so here comes the designated hitter, Hayden Fly. He's 0 for 2, flied out, grounded out. He walked and scored in that big 5th inning, and that one hit him. That one just got away from Nash, and so puts Fly on first, and Matthew Kosser, the first baseman, will check in. Kosser has flied out twice, and he has reached base on an error and scored on a sacrifice fly. So he's 0 for 3, but a run scored and a runner on first with 1 out. And the pitch got him on one that dipped. 0-1. Kosser will be followed by the relief pitcher, Jake Grant. And he tipped that one back. No balls and 2 strikes. Nash has stayed ahead of the hitters most of the time since he has been in the game. He came in with 1 out in the 4th inning in relief of Chase Gardner. And here's the pitch. That one's high, and it didn't break back in over the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. He tried hard to get Kosser to chase one outside. And Nash delivers. And that one is a ground ball. It's going to be a hard one to pick up. Throwing long to first, they'll never get him. That's an infield hit. That was one of those slow rollers that it must have bounced about 5 times. So once again, you got a threat going now. There's 1 out, and Jake Grant stands in. He's a left-hander. Grant is 0 for 2, walked in the 4th. A ball and no strikes. Grant flied out to the shortstop. He did reach base on an error in the 5th, so he is officially 0 for 2. Got that outside corner, a ball and a strike. Mason Gregorgas is scheduled next. The wind and the 1-1. He went for it. A ball and 2 strikes. This would be a huge one to get with a strikeout. 2-run lead for the Bruins with 1 out in the 7th. Kilburn gets the sign from his brother. And the pitch. Got him in there with a beautiful curveball. He looked at that one all the way, and that is strikeout number 3 for Nash Kilburn, and that was a big one. Here is Mason Gregorgas, the right fielder. He has had a sacrifice fly in the 8th inning, but he's 0 for 3. He's flied out 3 times, and it's with 2 out. And there's a drive. It is back to center field, and it is going to drop. And that may tie this game. They're going to fire it back into the infield, and they are going to hold the runner on third. It is a double. Oh, my. The blood pressures are up again. 2nd and 3rd, and 2 out. That was an outstanding throw by Wyatt Scott to get that one back into the infield and hold off the game-tying run. So you got the tying run on 3rd, the lead run on 2nd, and it's Eason Wells, the left fielder. And that one is low for ball 1. He has struck out, flied out. He has also walked and scored, singled and scored. 1 for 3. Here's the 1-0. Got it on the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, it's always high drama here. It's an 8-7 game. Bruins led 7-1 at one point until the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Went after one outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the fans are going to be on top of this one. Here comes the 1-2 to Wells. And as we say in basketball, we'll watch with you. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is higher drama than a Broadway play. Here we go. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, and the 2-2. He went for it for strike 3, and that is game, set, and match. What a job of strikeout pitching in the clutch for Nash Kilburn. It was not without a real threat again. 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 men left on base. What a game it was, but the Bruins prevail 8-7 in a real thriller, and we'll be back with all the totals right after these messages.
King Jewelers is not your typical run-of-the-mill jewelry store. Grover is a certified jeweler with 35 years experience. This isn't just a jewelry store. It's an iconic symbol of love. How far would you go for love? King Jewelers, 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson.
Ready for spring cleaning? Don't forget your HVAC system. Somebody needs to clean out all that dust and grime, and that somebody is us. Let McCoy's Heating and Air professionally clean your system so cool air can flow where it needs to go. Schedule now and you can get your cleaning for only $90. Call McCoy's Heating and Air at 731-668-7492 or visit airmccoy.com. McCoy's Heating and Air, Jackson's most trusted team of technicians.
Well, when you're at USJ, you know there's going to be drama. It was a 7-1 lead. They were coasting along as we got to the top of the fifth, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened up. And it was huge because it was the opposing pitcher, Luke Jenkins, who had a single to bring in 2 runs, and then all of a sudden here they came, and it eventually became a 5-run inning to close it down to within 7-6. But the Bruins never lost the lead. They came back and answered with another run, even though they had a bigger threat in their half of the fifth to make it 8-6. Nash Kilburn came in relief of Chase Gardner and managed to shut them down until he faced a big threat back in the top half of the 7th inning, but he ended up with 3 strikeouts, including 2 big ones, a called strikeout against center fielder and relief pitcher Jake Grant, and then to get Eason Wells, the left fielder, with runners on 2nd and 3rd and 2 out, and nailed the save in this one to win it 8-7. Chase Gardner will get the victory because he gave up 5 runs. The game never was tied, so Gardner will get the victory tonight. The save goes to Nash Kilburn. On the other side of the ledger, it was a tough one for Luke Jenkins, who struggled most of the evening and finally came out in the 7th. Jenkins ended up giving up 8 runs. He gave up, well, let me check that back on that total again. Yeah. Jenkins ended up giving up all 8 runs to the Bruins, and he gave up 9 hits in the game, and there were 2 errors as well. He ended up, though, taking the loss in this one, and he threw an awful lot of pitches. He came back several times with some clutch strikeouts. He struck out 6 in the game, but never could regain the lead, and so coming in to relief of him in the 7th inning was the center fielder Jake Grant, and he managed to shut down the Bruins on a single hit. But there are a lot of people who are leaving Overton Stadium tonight with quite a bit of deep breaths being exhaled because the blood pressures were very high tonight. It was one of those games after the 5th inning. But the Bruins prevail, so that means that they will advance and move on to take on North Point Christian at North Point, and that will be on Wednesday afternoon in the next round of the Division II West Region Tournament. So we wish them well as they are on their travels. We will be around here on Wednesday afternoon for girls softball here at USJ, and so I'll look forward to seeing and being with all of you for that. Who do we pick for our player of the game tonight? And in our mind, looking across the board, we're going to give that one to Max Kilburn. Max had a big night tonight. He was on base 3 times. He doubled and singled, but he had a huge one back in the 3rd inning, a 3-run stand-up double in which it was just narrow, only about 8 to 10 feet away from going out over the left field wall. And his brother Nash also had 3 RBIs and 3 hits in the game, but that big blast for Max is one that really broke it broke everything open back in the third inning, and the Bruins had 3 in the second, 3 in the third, and Max, we will give him our player of the game honors for tonight. So that wraps it up on a very happy night for Bruin fans tonight from Overton Stadium. Our executive producer of Worthy Road Studios and the BallGame Blitz Sports Network is Paul Schultze, who also produced tonight's telecast. Your director, the ever-cool, ever-present Christopher Reasons, and on camera tonight, a gentleman who, he's brave because he wears shorts even when we have temperatures like tonight in May when it's about 55 out there right now, and that is Eric Inman. I'm Steve Beverly. I've enjoyed being with you tonight, and I hope you'll be with us again Wednesday for Lady Bruins softball right here from USJ. And until then, so long from the great hub city of West Tennessee.
The BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports, including Union University, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.